Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel I like to share our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Today is vlog day, and I'm just going to bring you along and show you everything that I'm getting done today. Basically, I just have a bunch of things I need to get done. I have some corned beef cooking up over there in the corner, and I'm going to try and make some kind of a chaffle or something with that, and like a sandwich Reuben type style thing. We'll see how it goes. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. And I got a bunch of half and half that is expired, and so I'm going to go ahead and freeze these up in like 1 cup little portions. Same thing with some Greek yogurt and some regular yogurt. Got to freeze those up and save them. First thing I'm going to take care of today is getting the vitamin C soaking, because that takes several hours, or you have to actually soak the sunflower lecithin. You have to soak it for several hours to improve the potency or whatever it does. So we're gonna get that soaking. And we're just gonna put about 1.5 cups of water. 3 tablespoons. Cool. Years ago when I actually bought all the supplies to make this stuff, I did some research on it, but I didn't do enough research. Well, I guess I didn't really do research because to my knowledge, there's only 2 types of lecithin, and there's sunflower or there's soy. And I just knew that I didn't want the soy, so I got the sunflower. But I didn't do a lot of research on the ascorbic acid, and I didn't think there was much of a difference to any of them. And I've come to change my mind on that, so I'm not going to throw this stuff away. But when I am ready, when I do run out of this stuff, I am going to be sure that I get a better kind, like some that come like organic cherry, and there's all kinds of different ones that you can use. So this one will pretty much dissolve over time if you just give it a shake here and there. But this stuff, it just has so many clumps in it that it's really not going to dissolve unless you mix it up in a blender. And I used to make it by blending it after I let it soak for a long time, but it just didn't work as well, and I could tell that it wasn't encapsulating the vitamin C quite as well, or whatever terminology you want to use with that. And so I started mixing it up before, and I noticed that it is just smooth sailing and I don't have any issues with the vitamin C. So if you're ever interested in making this stuff, it's awesome. Well worth the little bit of time that it takes to do it. So next what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and freeze up our half and half. I think I probably have just enough time to freeze the half and half in the yogurt. Then I'm gonna ferment the onions really quick, and then we're gonna move on and take care of lunch. I don't know what I'm gonna do. We're just gonna do stuff. So doing this, I really like doing this one because it's free, and so you get free half and half. And then I like to freeze it because, I mean, obviously by the time that this stuff, which expired about 5 days ago, by the time this stuff actually expires, there's no way we're going to go through this whole amount of it. Yeah, I don't even use half and half in my coffee. Robert will use kind of whatever is there, whether it's heavy cream or half and half. He's not very picky, and he just puts that in there. And use it for cooking and things. Like I'm probably going to use it today to make this Indian food. But I mean, other than that, it's really nice just to have it on hand. You can buy it and you don't worry about it going bad. Or, you know, you could buy it. I get it for free, but yeah, it just works out really well. And then I like to freeze it in these Ziploc bags because when you take it out, like you just set it on the counter, and within a half hour to an hour, it's totally thawed out. You can just pour it into a mason jar and pop it in the fridge, and then you have kind of your mason jar jug. Probably better to use a liquid measuring cup, but this is what I grabbed. And this way also would come in handy if I tend to have a lot of guests that come over, and you serve coffee. Maybe you don't like half and half, but they do. So you go to the store and you buy a jug of half and half, knowing somebody's coming over, and then they use maybe like a half of a cup of it. You've got all the rest of this half and half. What do I do with it? Throw it in the freezer. You get it next time someday or somebody else come along that like it. And also make sure you mark on it before you freeze it, because if you try and mark on it after you freeze it, you're not going to have much luck and it's just going to sweat all over the place. So now I'm just going to do the same exact thing with all of this yogurt. If you have the extra mason jars for this, you can totally use mason jars. I just don't want to use up my mason jars for this because who knows how long it'll be in there. And then I can use this instead. The yogurt, you have to be a little more careful about, like, you know, squishing it up like this to kind of get the air out of it because it's more solid. And if you really want to make sure that these are, you know, not freezer burnt or have really long-term storage in the freezer, you can always use a freezer bag, or like I mentioned earlier, you can use the mason jar. I'm just not super worried about it, and so I want to save a little bit of money and use the sailor's bags. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get started on making lunch. I'm going to try and make chaffles. I looked up the recipe a long time ago. There's like 5 million different recipes on how to do it. And kind of the basic was like 1 egg to half a cup of mozzarella cheese. So I'm just going to do the super basic recipe and see what comes of it. In order to make a sandwich, I need 2 of these. That's a lot of cheese. Oh, that looks good. I think I need a minute or 2 on that. Okay. Alright, so I think I could cut this in half and make it a perfectly fine sandwich. Sprinkle a little bit of this. And corned beef. So we got corned beef on top of that half chaffle. What is traditional on these is like Russian dressing, I think, but I don't have any, so I'm gonna try and put some kind of I'm gonna put something on the side and just try and dip it in there. Got a sandwich. Okay, so I'm gonna try it just plain. See how that tastes first. Salt in the pot. Some pretty good stuff. So what I have here is 2 different types of fermented hot sauce, some Thousand Island dressing, and some Chipotle ranch. I'm gonna go with the healthier options first and see how these taste. Just a little bit at a time. And you can see into this. Haha. Okay. It's okay with that. When I had the actual corned beef, I tried both of these hot sauces with them, and the one I just tried was pretty good with the corned beef, but the sauerkraut definitely won. It was just the best. And I did try this as well. It didn't go very well with it, Like it just didn't pair very well. But I'm gonna try it anyway. Now the 1,000-ounce dressing. That's good. Definitely the 1,000-hour dressing. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my lunch real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started on doing the beef jerky. So I'll bring you back when I'm all finished. So I finished up lunch, I got the hiccups, and now we're gonna try and move along and get the beef jerky made. And then after we do the beef after we do the beef jerky, then we're gonna go ahead and move on to starting dinner. And the first thing I'm gonna do is make some naan. Or at least get the dough started for it, and just get started on everything to do with dinner. But I want to get this beef jerky going, and I wanted to wait until it was this late in the afternoon because I'm hoping that it won't finish. Darn it! I'm hoping that it won't finish until I get home from work, and that's why I didn't do it this morning, because I wanted to make sure that I had enough time to actually process it once it was finished. So on to the beef jerky. We got thin ones here, and this one's pretty thick. The next step for this, I think it's just gonna be wiping off the side of this thing. So all I'm gonna do with these is put it on the dehydrator, and I'm gonna set it to 160 degrees, which according to my dehydrator is the jerky temperature. So I'm gonna throw this onto the dehydrator, and I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it tonight as well, but I'm gonna check it in the morning and see if any of them are done, which they might possibly be done, but with how thick I cut these, they're probably not gonna be done by then. And hopefully they'll be able to hold out and not get burnt or anything by the time I actually get home from work tomorrow, which is probably, I don't know, around 7 o'clock. The sun is getting real bright. Ooh, there we go, now dark. So I'm just gonna throw this on the dehydrator, and then we'll pick this back up when we're ready to pull them from the dehydrator. Go ahead. So now it's about 4:20. It's 4:22, and we're gonna get started on making the naan. And then as soon as we get the naan into proofing, then I'm gonna get started on finishing up the butter chicken.